Guys, Outdoor Prepper, welcome back to the channel. I don't think this needs any introduction. I just picked up the brand new Harbor Freight Predator 11,500 watt tri-fuel inverter generator. This is a massive, massive generator, and it would not fit in the Outdoor Prepper mobile, so I needed my friend to show up with this pickup truck. It is a very heavy unit. This is 250 pounds, and it weighs all 250 of those pounds. It is not light, not easy to move. Enough talking, let's get the box open. Let's get this generator out with great difficulty, and let's check it out. Okay, so before I go ahead and cut this entire box apart to get the generator out, I thought you might just want to see how it is packed. So let me just move the camera back a little bit and get a little better angle. Box is incredibly heavy. There is a 0% chance you're going to move this on your own. So if you're going to pick one of these up, definitely have a person come with you to help you, because you're going to need the assistance. Packed very, very well. I am extremely optimistic that it's going to be in excellent shape when I get it out of the box. Like I said, my Harbor Freight only had 2 of these, and somebody grabbed the first one before I got there, and I was very fortunate enough to pick this up. All right, so my plan here is I'm just going to cut the sides of the box and just kind of wheel it out of the box. And actually, I saw how it was packed, because at Harbor Freight, the person that bought it before me, it wouldn't fit in their car, so they had to take it out of the box, and they left the box behind. So the box did have some wood at the bottom, really packed well. So let's get it out and we'll come right back. Okay, so in case this is helpful, useful information for anybody else, what I did was I just kind of cut the side of the box open, and now I'm just taking out this cardboard. It is packed very, very well. I'm actually very impressed. Of all the generators I've bought, this is one of the best packed. Okay, so I had to really tear that box apart, but I just want to show you, in case you pick one of these up, right at the very bottom is where the accessories are. So that's where you're going to have the propane regulator, the wrench, the adapters. It's all going to be right at the bottom of the box. So just be aware of that when you're taking the box out and you're taking the generator out of the box. Now that it's out of the box, this thing is really cool. I have the 5,000 watt as well, so this is basically, you know, the older brother to the 5,000 watt. It's the exact same design, same shape, same general styling as the 5,000 watt. But obviously this is the older brother and is much, much more powerful. It's really double, even a little more than double the wattage of the 5,000. So let's go take a real close look at it. So just kind of looking at the side here, it shows us that on this side we've got the air filter, the spark plug, the battery. We're going to need that to hook up the battery. And these access panels are really nice. You don't need any tools. You can just turn this. It's on lock. You can turn it to unlock and open this panel up, and we're going to be doing that pretty shortly, so we could put some connect the battery. And then on the other side, let me just get up and show you. On this side right here, this is where the oil fill access is, and this has a really cool feature that finally Harbor Freight has addressed, because if you watched my video on the 5,000 watt unit, the oil change was an epic disaster. This is going to make the oil change literally a piece of cake, but we'll check that out in just a second. Let's go to the control panel now. Let's take a look at the panel itself. But before that, handles are really nice, pretty solid. You just pull this pin right here to kind of release them. A little hard to do with one hand. And then as you lift it up, locks into place. Very easy to move. This rolls really well. I'm pushing this with one hand right now as I'm sitting. For a very heavy unit, very easy to move once it's out of the box and it's on the wheels. Coming in close to the control panel, for those of you that have not seen the 11,500 watt unit before, we're going to start here on the left. We have the parallel operation, so you can pair this to another unit if you choose to. You have the on-off button, the stop-start switch. A lot of people make a mistake on the stop-start switch here. You don't just press it. You actually have to press it 2 times slowly. So one press, a second press, and then it will start. And we'll go over that operation. Right here, we've got regular 20 amp GFCI outlet. We've got a 30 amp 3-prong outlet. We've got a 30 amp 4-prong outlet right here. These are for your transfer switches. We've got a 50 amp, so this has 50 amp service. But again, you need to read the actual ratings, because most generators are 50 amps when you have them paralleled to a second generator. Right here we have a switch between 120, 240 and just 120. You're going to want to leave this on 120, 240 if you intend to use any of the 30 amp or 50 amp receptacles. If you truly are only using 120 volts, then you can switch it to 120. Again, I hooked this up to a transfer switch. That's my intended use case, so I'm going to be leaving that on 120, 240. Right up here, you've got a USB-A and a USB-C. Probably will not use that, but it's nice that it has it. Really nice screen, and we'll test that out momentarily. We've got the carbon monoxide detection system here. It's going to flash yellow when you turn the unit on, then obviously if there's a problem, it'll start to flash red. And this is where we have the tri-fuel selector switch, so we can go from liquid propane gas to gasoline to natural gas. And then up top here, we have the adapter where you're going to plug in the hose so you can hook this up to natural gas or propane. Last thing of note, we've got the circuit breakers. Always make sure those are on. And then for those that are wondering, when this starts, it's going to start in eco mode, and there's a little button right here that says ESC on off, and it's got a little green leaf. You can press this to toggle between eco mode on and eco mode off. Last thing that I forgot to mention, and I'm really excited because it actually includes the charger, is this tiny little charging port where you can plug in the charger to keep your battery maintained. It's basically a built-in trickle charger. You don't need to take the sides off and plug in a charger separately. Okay, so we're going to open the side covers up in just a second and take a look at the inside, connect the battery, add oil. I'm going to show you how the oil change works, but I just want to offer a tip real fast. I picked up this dolly, this little flat, moving dolly at Harbor Freight for 17 bucks. I really recommend, if you don't have one of these, pick it up if you're buying this unit, because this was really hard to get in and out of the truck, and when we got it out, we were able to lower it right onto the dolly. I was able to move it very easily into place and then kind of take it off the dolly to get it set up. All right, let's open up the side here. These are pretty easy. You just turn it one click to unlock. It's not like the old ones where you have to just keep unscrewing it. Kind of put your hand under here, just pull, comes right off. In case you're wondering, we've got some very nice padding. This is actually even nicer than my 5,000 watt, and I love the Harbor Freight 5,000 watt. Looking at the side here, let me just pull the camera a little bit closer so that you can hopefully see. We've got the battery, carburetor, air filter. We've got a manual choke override. That's that red lever. So you would need that if the battery was dead, because this has an auto choke feature. So you would have to manually choke it. One thing I want to point out on this side, and I point this out in all my generator videos, if you choose to use gasoline in your generator, there's no issue with that. But when you're done using it, you should really let the fuel burn out until the tank is empty. And then this little screw right here on the carburetor, and you'll see there's a little hose that kind of goes to the bottom and it just falls out basically. You want to unloosen this screw or undo that. Let any residual fuel that's in the carburetor bowl drip out, and then tighten that screw. If you do that every time, you're never going to have a problem starting it, because you're never going to have stale gas in the carburetor. So pay a lot of attention to that screw. All right, let's put the camera back and let's see about hooking up this battery. So right here we've got the cable that the battery is supposed to plug into, and I'm just going to undo this cap. And this, guys, this is literally how easy this is. You just line it up, plug it in. I'm just going to tuck that out of the way. Don't forget that step. I can't tell you how many people forget to hook up the battery on their generators with electric start, and then they leave bad reviews that the generator doesn't work. It's not the generator, it's operator error. That panel went in really nice. Again, much easier than the 5,000, and I love the 5,000. So we're done on this side. Let's go to the next side and take a look at the oil and fill it up. Before we take a look at the oil, I just want to show you the accessories real fast that came with it. This is the plug that I mentioned, still in the package here, but this, you can uncoil this. This plugs right into the control panel, and it's a trickle charger. This right here is an adapter from a 3-prong twist lock to a TT30 for a travel trailer. This is your typical oil wrench and screwdriver. And then right here, this is the remote fob, so you can start it from the remote fob. This is just an oil funnel that comes with it. And then you do get the propane regulator. Now, one thing I noticed this does not come with, and some of my other units have come with, is the natural gas hose. So we're going to have to purchase that separately if we want to use this on natural gas, which ultimately I do want to run this on natural gas. So those are the accessories. That's all it came with. Does not come with oil. Let's get this cover open up and take a look at the oil fill. Okay, we're on the other side now, and unlike the first side, the entire panel does not come off here. It is actually just simply this bottom section. And I'm going to show you right now. Just 2 half turns, pull, comes right out. And wow, look at this sound deadening foam. This is even thicker than the other side. This is probably a good almost 3 inches thick. So you know this unit's going to hopefully be pretty quiet. We'll fire it up shortly. Just so you know, the muffler, if you're looking at the front control panel, it's on the right side. It's not on the rear as a lot of units are. I'm kind of okay with that. It doesn't really bother me. It doesn't really matter what side it's on. But do take note, you need to clean the spark arrestor pretty often, because if you don't, you'll build up a lot of pressure and you may not be able to start the generator. And to clean this, it looks pretty easy. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. This whole cover comes off, and then there's 2 screws right here for the cover to the spark arrestor, and then it should pull right out. So that should be very easy to clean. Let me get the camera a little bit lower so we can look at the oil. This is the benefit to having a really small camera. On the bottom half here, we have the oil fill, which is right here in orange, and we're just going to basically fill it until the oil comes up to the threads. And that's really all you need to be concerned with on this side, except the oil change. Now we know, for those that have the Predator 5000 inverter, which I love, I've mentioned this umpteen times, they have a little piece here that you can slide out and the oil just spills out. That was a disaster. Harbor Freight did a real nice design here. This is actually a hose. So you can kind of move this aside a little bit, and look at that. It's a drain hose. You can just drain the oil right into a collection pan. Nobody gets messy, nobody gets upset. Just really easy to do. We'll be showing you how to do that on a future video after I do the break-in, but yeah, so happy to finally see this, because let me tell you, if it was going to be like the 5000, I was not going to be a happy camper, although I would still buy the generator. But disaster oil change. So this takes 10 W30. I'm going to go ahead and off camera, I'm just going to insert the funnel here because it is a little difficult to do with the camera in the way. I'm going to fill it up to the threads. I don't know how much oil this takes. I did not really see any clear indication in the manual. It just said fill it until it's full. So let me figure it out and I'll tell you, and hopefully it will save you the trouble of spilling oil everywhere, which hopefully I won't do. Once we get the oil in it, we're obviously going to hook this up and start it. There's a couple of things that I read in the manual though that are kind of concerning, but I don't think it'll be a big deal, but we're going to test it out and I will let you know. And while I'm filling this with oil, do me a favor, this is really difficult to make these videos, especially maneuvering a unit of this size and, quite honestly, the expense of buying it. So if this video is helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you can like and subscribe, because there's going to be a lot more content on this generator on the channel. This is just the beginning. Let's get it filled up with oil. Okay, I'm using my own funnel. I'm not using the funnel that the generator came with, but I am going to offer a little critique here. And as usual, I mean, Harbor Freight did a great job with the oil change tube. That's looking really wonderful, but I really don't actually like the location of this fill, because it's very difficult to see it. You basically have to get on the ground to really be able to see it, because the cover itself kind of is blocking your view. But let me fill this up, and while I'm filling this up, go ahead and grab a pen and paper, because you're going to want to write down how much oil this takes. That way you don't have to worry about spilling it, because I have no idea, so we are probably going to spill it. This took the entire quart of oil, and I do not know if it is full yet. And like I said, it is actually quite difficult to see from this angle. So let me get a piece of paper towel and let's check the dipstick and see if a quart is enough or if we need a little bit more. Okay, so do you have your pen and paper ready for this? Very minor spillage. It took 1 full quart. I thought it looked a little bit low on the dipstick after the full quart, so I added 200 milliliters. Then it started to spill out, so that was a little too much. So I would say do a full quart and roughly 50 to 100 milliliters extra. Obviously check it, but that was my that was what I got. Full quart, I did 200, it was too much. So let's do about 50 to 100 milliliters and then we can call it. I got the door back on. Basically what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna take my decibel meter, just gotta make sure that's snapped in fully, and we're gonna go ahead and start this up. And I wanna start it on propane because I intend to run this on propane. Natural gas, I definitely wanna get a natural gas hookup for the house. I'd prefer not to use gasoline. I just don't want to deal with fuel storage, stable, carburetor potentially getting gunked up if I don't follow the right procedure. Let's start this on propane. Let's get the decibel meter out. Let's see what we're all here to find out. Okay, so I've got the regulator here and I'm just uncoiling it. But while I'm doing that, we're gonna hook this up. I just want to talk about what did I pay, how much, what was the out the door cost here? So the generator, I got it on sale today. I was able to use my 15% coupon, and with the coupon, and I also bought that little dolly that I showed you for $17. So with that out the door, I was just over $2,000 at like $2,034. Actually, you know what? I've got the receipt in my pocket. Let's take a look at the receipt in my pocket, and I will tell you exactly what we paid. We paid $2,055.54. That's with an 8.875% sales tax. So I paid $1,887 for the generator and the dolly, and $167 in tax. So hopefully that is helpful for anyone that's looking to pick this up. And like I said, I used the 15% coupon, but they routinely have 20% coupons, so that would lower the cost even more. All right, that was pretty easy to hook that up. I thought it would have been a little more difficult because I have another tri-fuel generator that is a little more difficult. Now I'm just opening the tank slowly because that's really what you should do. Now, Harbor Freight lists on the owner's manual, or in the owner's manual, that this should be used with a 40-pound tank as a minimum to prevent the tank from freezing up. I'm not entirely sure that that needs to be the case, but I'm going to test that out, and that'll be a future video. So everything is hooked up, breakers are on. Let's pull the camera in. Okay, I failed to mention a really important aspect here, so I just shot that take over again. You need to turn the fuel selector knob from off to liquid propane, gasoline, or natural gas. And there is a nice detent so you know when you're in the right spot. So that was my mistake. Let's go ahead and get this started. It's probably going to take 2 times or so to start, maybe 3, because we've got to purge the air from the line. So the power switch is on. We got to press this twice. It will not auto restart. You will have to press it 2 times again if you need to start it again. Wow, I do not think the camera is doing this justice. I am literally 1 foot 12 inches from the unit, and it is so quiet. I am very impressed. So I want you to see the screen here. We've got the eco mode right here. This is low oil, so we had a low oil condition, this would illuminate. We have a reset, so if the unit were to trip out for whatever reason, maybe it gets overloaded, you can just press that to reset it. And then mode here, we can cycle through our mode. This is runtime. You see we've only got 2 minutes on it, not even. Let's see what else. This is hours, 60 hertz, and 248 volts, and then we just keep cycling through. Let's take it off of eco mode and see what it sounds like. So it does get louder, but not, crazy loud. Again, I am literally 1 foot away from it. So what I want to do right now is I want to take the decibel meter out. Let's just go back to eco. I'm going to go ahead and take the decibel meter out. I'm going to back up and let's see what it sounds like. Okay, so I am standing 20 feet away from the generator, maybe even a little bit less than 20 feet. I've got my top test meter. It's not yet on. This is a great meter, guys. I use this in all my videos. I paid about 20 bucks for it online. I'll post the link if you're interested. Well, let's turn it on and let's see what the decibel. We're in eco mode right now, so let me stop talking. That's not bad at all. 62 decibels for an 11,500 watt generator. That is very, very quiet. Let me go ahead right now and I'm going to take it off of eco mode and let's get a decibel reading. In fact, let's just do this on camera right here. So I want you to hear how it ramps up. So it's obviously ramped up. Let me release the hold and it is a little windy. Let's see where we're at. So we're roughly 68, 69 decibels. We're about 18 feet away and eco mode is off. Like I said, it is windy, so I don't know if it's picking up a little wind, but wow, on eco mode, really, really silent. Even outside of eco mode, that is not loud at all. We're under 70 decibels. This is a very large generator. I have the 5,000 watt generator as well, And like I said, this is not significantly louder than the 5000, and you're getting more than double the power. Let's go ahead and plug a device in now. So I've got my trusty space heater, which I gotta be honest, I love using the space heater to test generators because it's an inductive load, so it takes a lot of power. So let's just click up. We're onto fan right now, and before we get into anything higher, let me zoom into the screen a little bit because I want you to be able to see. All right, I want you to be able to see kind of what's going on there, and I'm just shielding the sun a little bit. So here we go, we're going to be on low. Let's get to the mode so we can see what we're using. I don't think it shows. Oh, it shows us up here. We're using 0.09 kilowatts. I was looking for an actual, readout. Let's go to high. So we're using 1.5 kilowatts, so 1,500 watts. And the generator did idle up just a little bit, but again, we're nowhere near max RPM of the generator, and performs flawlessly. I'm very, very, very impressed with this unit. Really the quietness of the generator. Let me just back up a little bit here just so you can hear me talk. The quietness of this unit is impressive, to say the least, and it's really the reason why I bought this. You can kind of see in the background here on the video, I've got an older Champion. That's an open frame inverter, but that is really not what I'm looking for. I really want a quiet unit, which is what this is. Guys, I hope you can see from this unboxing and the test that this is a fabulous generator. It's brand new to the market. It literally just came out. I got the second one. My store only had two, and I was very fortunate to pick this up. Do me a favor. I'm going to be doing a lot more testing on this unit and other videos that are going to be really helpful regarding this specific unit, because if you're going to spend, upwards of $2,000 on a generator, you want to make sure that it meets your needs, and all the testing that I'm going to perform on it is really meant to help you. And hopefully you saw from today that the oil capacity, which is not listed, hopefully this was a little helpful as well. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more to come. Like and subscribe and ask any questions you want in the comments. I will answer anything you want to know about this generator, because like I said, I just picked it up and there was really nobody for me to ask, so I had to kind of go out on a limb. It wasn't even on the display shelf. It was just simply in the back. So hope this was helpful. I will certainly see you soon. Thanks for watching.